right, Scooter Tramps and Chopper Jockeys, it's 9 p.m. on the East Coast. It's time for another episode of Shop Talk. So glad to be back. I'm your host, Chris Callen with Cycle Source Magazine. I'm joined by my cohorts in crime, Heather Callen and Mark Persichetti. What's up, guys?
Hey, what's shaking?
It's 9:09.
It is 9:09. We're late as hell. And thank you.
Oh, I'm here for you.
And thank you for noticing that the little lights aren't twinkling.
Hey,
Art.
It's still Cycle Source time. Everything is ish.
That's right.
You know,
Man, the social media hits are like racking up. You guys are awesome. Listen, you can do your part to make sure that Shop Talk keeps going out further each time we go out. Just hit the little share button, man. Make sure that you have your notices set up so that when we go live, you know what's going on. You'll see over in the right hand corner from time to time, we bring your comments, questions, concerns live on the screen so that you can interact with us. We don't expect you to just sit there. Join in on the action. And with that, we're going to move over to Heather Callen, who's going to take us around the world of social media.
Oh my goodness, what's shaking? So I'll take comments, compliments, concerns, and complaints can go to Chris and Mark. How's that?
Okay.
Does that work?
Real nice. Real nice.
Oh, let's see. Oh, computers are wonky today.
Yeah, they are.
Is there like a storm coming that I don't know about?
I think the storm is the...
Or did we break the internet today?
Yeah.
I think we might have broke the internet.
Yep.
Kevin Smith in the house. Hey, Missy Shoemaker is here. She's like really, really here. What else is going on? Sorry, things were kind of weird here.
Yeah.
It's Monday.
Just bear with me. It is Monday.
Okay. Let's
back
move
to
on to
my-
Mark. Mark, what's going on in your world?
It's Monday.
Let's
I
see.
work too much
Philly
this
in the house.
I
Dan Benson, Choppertown from Carterville, Georgia. Mike Belcher.
I'm too
I don't
busy
know where
reading
you're
everybody's
from.
comments. I like the comments. I'm going for it. What's up with me? Nothing. I noticed that you did a shop talk today. It was
Greasy Gears Garage, yeah.
today. Pretty cool.
It was, man. It was actually really nice. I mean, as much as I dig the whole Grease and Gears Garage on the big stage thing, to actually have the best of both worlds, because we used to do a lot of live stuff where we just kind of put a camera up in the corner and we let it run, but to have a little bit of production, a couple different cameras, it was awesome. I can't wait to see when we bring some other guys in, the stuff that we're going to do with that should be pretty trick.
Yeah, looks good.
Yes, sir.
That's pretty.
I have a question.
Me, I figured I'd fill in your life for 5 minutes. So
Terry Wyatt, I have a question. Do you got to do any scholarships for motorcycle technician student at like MMI or any other motorcycle technician school? No, we don't, because we're unfortunately without the benefit of scholarship money. We would like to someday when this thing gets big and fancy, but if there's anyone out there, we'd be happy to pass that information along. I believe MMI and programs like that, there's a lot of, Wyotech and a lot of good programs out there that are teaching people to work with their hands. Believe it or not, the whole generation, end of millennial and post millennial, are starting to be a much more tactile oriented generation. So that's going to become more important.
hopefully it becomes more important because the hands-on skills in the past 10 years the people to do it have gone really downhill.
Yeah,
So
and it sucked.
it'd be really nice to see some young people get interested in some of the mechanical and the hands-on between the automotive and motorcycle and construction world would be fantastic.
Yep. So, what is Shop Talk? If you're asking that, I'm going to remind you real quick. We're coming to you through the courtesy of the Russ Brown Motorcycle Attorney Studio. Every Sunday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have another episode of 120 minutes of all the bullshit we can fit. We do a little bit of entertainment, a little bit of motorcycle talk, some tech tips, have some guests on. All the stuff that we can bring from around the motorcycle culture and motorcycle news of the day. And usually that all starts off with a little thing we like to call the news. First up in the news this week, Kawasaki raises nearly $100,000 for charity in 2019. This coming in from Newswire, Motorsports Newswire. Kawasaki Motors Group USA has proudly supported several local and national charities, and raising hundreds and thousands of dollars in 2019, supporting worthy causes with cash and product donations, as well as VIP racing fan experiences at Monster Energy Supercross. Monster?
I was wondering what that was.
Energy Supercross. The charitable efforts of Kawasaki Motor Corp USA and its employees have nearly exceeded $100,000 in value. You know, the reason why we bring stuff like this up, man, is, you know, everybody looks at these companies like they're great big companies and, you know, big, cold, hard cash-making machines. You know, doing community direct stuff like this needs to be pointed out because it's part of what makes it all go for us.
Yeah, and it's nice to point it out because a lot of people don't know anybody does stuff like this. So,
right?
Yeah, it's great that they give it back.
Here's something I almost want to make this our batshit crazy news segment, right? Let's do it. Let's do batshit crazy news.
Batshit crazy news.
Now this is in from thethings.com again, and you'll remember last week we got our batshit crazy news from things.com, and this week we're on a roll. Here we go. 20 weird motorcycles you totally forgot existed.
That girl's riding the bull in the bar.
When I went
Ride the hell out of that bull.
when I went through this, I don't know if I forgot that they existed or just thought they should not have existed.
My favorite one they forgot existed is the last one.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so here we go. 20 motorcycles, weird motorcycles you totally forgot existed. I don't even know what the hell that is. I agree with you. It looks like the bull from Jilly's.
That's it.
Where you break your face.
You're going to get hurt, kid.
20. The Renaissance Fighter.
Okay,
Fighter what?
it was from Confederate Motor Company,
Right.
and sold for $110,000.
That, you know what? That
There's
guy.
an ass for every seat.
That guy must be a genius because he sold that for $110,000.
Just listen. Just stop when you say there's an ass.
They're literally.
Okay, moving on. 19. Cake cock.
Wow.
He said cock.
He's sick.
Okay, that's enough on that one. 18. The mono wheel.
Love that dude right there.
I know, right?
I'm all in on that.
Here's the thing about it. You might think that picture's taken from like 100 years ago. Now with the whole hipster trend,
Yeah, it could have been yesterday.
this was born free this year.
Yeah, right.
17.
No, those jeans were too clean.
17. The Megola.
Wow.
German manufacturers. Those kooky Germans were responsible for this motorbike,
Get smart.
which they built. Look, giggity, giggity, giggity. Yeah. I love our listeners. German manufacturers were responsible for this motorbike, which they built from 1921 to 1925, according to Ultimate Motorcycling.
640 cc's, 5-cylinder air-cooled engine.
Listen to you with all the facts. You're like ShopTalk's version of Robin Givens. I
I
love
can
you.
read.
I love you,
Johnny, go at it.
Mark. We got a straight man.
Oh, boy.
That's a
16.
stretch.
The Naracar. Now, this literally, like, if you're wondering how they came up with names for weird shit like
Did
this,
they name that in Pittsburgh?
it was Naracar. That's Hobonics right there.
One more word I meant car.
At Naracar. Thing is so comfortable.
So it was
Ride is
produced from
Naracar.
1921 to 1926 in the UK. 283 cc, two-stroke, single-cylinder engine.
Hey, at least that one was built in like the early 1900s. You know, give them the best of it.
Tim Karn says, marry a car, which I'm assuming he means near a car, ran in the 18 Cannonball. Is that true?
Ooh.
That's far out. Number 15.
Somebody had some tractor parts
The
left over.
Bomerland. Built in the Czech Republic. Those crazy Czechs.
Oh, yeah.
From 1925 until 1939. See, what happened was the Germans stopped making the other one in 25. The Czechs said, hey,
We'll pick
we're
that
missing
shit up."
some batshit crazy motorcycle
That's right.
stuff, so we're going to bring out the
And
Bomerland.
my tractor broke down. I got stuff left over.
Stephanie from southwestern Wisconsin here waiting to hear Ellie Rains. Right on. Thanks for being with us. 14, the Quasar.
That's a gang right there. That's an MC.
You know, seriously, you guys might have forgot about this, but eventually they just put 2 more wheels on these, and they still drive them in England to this day.
Yep.
13, the Yamaha Maxim.
Check that bitch out. Just keep going.
Now, Buck Rogers, I'm just saying. 12,
Oh, boy.
the Chevrolet. What
I've
do you
been
mean
wondering where
weird
my-
motorcycle?
Where my quarter
Right?
panels
That's an
went.
Arlen Ness.
He stole my quarter panel.
Okay.
Oh, boy.
Nara 3D Electric. Now, see, eventually the people that made the Nara car joined the electric bike revolution. They also liked Tron as a kid.
Well, yeah, very much so.
3D printed.
No kidding.
Yep.
Tell us all about it.
Pretty good. That's all I got.
Moving on. Number 10, the Uno.
Love them things.
Right?
What the?
Somebody's going to get hurt. That's
What
all
the what?
I'm saying.
Well, I don't know if you remember. Well, first of all, you wonder what happened with all those leftover S3 Thunderbolt parts from Buell when they decided to close. There they are right there. But there was a NARA bike at the bike night on west side of Cincinnati.
Wow.
Mike Draco. So do you remember back in the day there used to be a thing, I don't know if they still do it or not, called the American National Unicyclist Series. It was literally called Anus Racing.
Anus racing.
Excuse me?
We know
I'm not
why.
kidding.
Because there was one tire sticking out of their anus. That's
You
why.
took the front wheel and front end off of your motorcycle, put a skid plate on it.
I do remember that.
Yeah, bolted the handlebars
Yep.
on it, and it was dirt drag racing
was
with
dirt
one wheel. And the trick was, if you get that son of a bitch up in the air and get from one end of the track to the other, you won.
Moving on.
Moving on. Bike number 9.
Oh, wow. That's the brother of the
bull
riding guy.
This is the bull
Lady.
backwards.
That is
What's
weird.
it
Listen.
named? Say the name.
Joe Hammer.
Oh, I thought for sure you were going to make a joke out of that one. I'm
No,
so disappointed.
The joke is he has the bull by the horns right
Yeah,
now.
literally.
Or bike number 8.
Whoa.
The Bineville Legacy. Got to be German too, right?
I don't even know what's going on right there.
It doesn't say. 300 horsepower. That's all I know.
Number 7, French Majestic.
Well,
this and a
It goes
weird
back
little
to
dog.
1929, though.
yep.
Yeah.
So when you think about the time frame it was
Pretty cool.
created
back then.
in, you actually probably
Yeah,
still see
you're
that
right.
at the AMD, though. Just
Wow, it was totally almost a spit choke. Oh my God. 6, the BMW Alpha Bullet.
I don't even know what's going on right there.
That was at AMD. I'm almost positive.
Forward, backward. I mean, maybe you could ride that both ways.
When designer Mehmet
Don't
Doruk
do it.
Erdem. Wow, that's a lot of hard shit to say in a line. And builder Mark Atkinson collaborated on a new project to make a cool motorbike. They came up with the BMW Alpha Bullet. The film The World's Fastest Indian served as inspiration for the design of this motorbike. Looks pretty cool. I can see the World's Fastest Indian
me
in
too.
that. This is my favorite one of the whole thing, the Indian Warrior. If you weren't born in the 40s, you might have been old enough to remember when the Indian Warrior was launched. This motorbike was produced in the U.S. in 1950. The key interesting feature are the skis that come along with this bike. The bike could produce 25 horsepower, according to Motorcycle Classics. That is so awesome. That harkens back to a day when people used to actually believe motorcycles were utilitarian
all year
in
round.
nature. You know what I mean? Number 4, the Yamaha OR2T.
R2D2, did you say?
I'm thinking that next year there's a new Transformers film, and along with Bumblebee, they're going to have Blue Jacket.
Blue Jacket.
And there it is. Number 3, steampunk motorcycle. Now, I thought this was interesting. The above motorbike is one of the classier steampunk motorcycles on the market. So it's not saying like this specific bike, just steampunk motorcycles in general. It's saying are weird and you might have forgot about them.
I did.
Number 2, Rumble.
That was originally one of them bicycles that you worked out on, and the guy decided he had to get to work.
let's see, $3,490 with a max speed of 40 miles an hour.
Cafe racer bike served as inspiration for this design. That's
did.
a far stretch.
It actually looks like, what was that?
Bike number 1, the Can-Am Spider. These are still on the street. How in the hell did you forget about them? And I mean, I'll give it to you. They're weird as owl piss, but how did you forget about them?
Weird as what?
I like
Owl piss.
Owl?
Owl.
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 Did you ever see owl piss before?
I didn't know what he was saying.
Okay, so once again, we want to thank the people from thethings.com for serving for inspiration and jocularity throughout the control room. Because, boy. Next up in the...
I did watch Fridays on Friday night. Boy.
Next up in the news, BMW. Boss says no electric motorcycles for 5 years.
Smartest guy in the world.
So now, do you think that's because they don't want to jump on the bandwagon, or because they truly want to come out of the gate swinging.
I'd
Really
say
be
that.
ready for it. Come
Yeah.
out with a good product.
I'm going to say BMW is definitely the kind of company that wants to come out with technology in hand. And
You know,
Let
man.
everybody else get beat up first, you think?
them being an innovating company, they always have something really cool on the block. But
Wait, Gary Macias says Rumble should have been called Doggy Style. Winner, send him a T-shirt. That's some good shit right there.
Oh, you made me snort.
yeah,
All right.
I don't know. I mean, I see BMW being one that is always ahead of the game, and maybe they're seeing something. Maybe they've been paying attention to us.
No, but you know what? Like, here's a company who like love it, hate it, whatever. You cannot deny the boxer style engine. Like,
Yeah.
you know, that's signature. You know what I mean? And like, when you saw that side by side comparison for their proposed electric motorcycle, it was missing that. It was missing that, you know, 100 years of you know, associated brand identity that company's had, and you know, maybe they're not ready to make that jump yet. If anything, I would say that. And then I think again, we're missing the infrastructure to really support these vehicles. Yep. You know, every day you're seeing different stories about electric vehicles, 2 and 4 wheel, whether they're bursting into flames or, you know, having recalls for this shit or that shit. I mean, I just think we're, you know, no doubt that it's going to be in our future. Well, I just think everybody's pushing it a little bit right now. It says there
that he wants to extend the range of the bike.
Yeah, there you go.
To at least 125 miles. I mean, I think they're looking for the longevity more of the bike. And like you said, if you're on that thing and you got to go 125 miles in a circle so you can plug it back into your house, there's no recharge for it. So it doesn't make any sense.
I like circles.
Well, I like pizza.
Tim Kern says they're dumping all their money into the new R18.
Okay.
Quite possible.
That bike's badass. Yep. I can see that.
Yeah, I know. You'd have a BMW in a split
I
in
would.
a second if you could. But you can't, so you won't.
Never say can't.
Uncle Rock was one of the baddest ass bikers I ever knew in my life.
That's what he rode, right?
That was his go-to.
He got rid of his panhead and got a K1200S. And all of a sudden, he was in Alaska. He was in South America. Like,
that's awesome. Well, look at Chopper Charlie. He has his 12-foot long chopper that he rides all over hell and back, and he has a BMW adventure bike. So, I mean, it doesn't have to be just one or another. You can have both.
Hey, Adam Thompson comes in and says that maybe waiting on technology to catch up. The next leap in battery tech will be a big one.
I agree.
Tesla was working on it and a bunch of others. And, I mean, yeah, that's it. Definitely that too.
And I'll tell you, personally, from working with hand tools and cordless power tools all the time, the change in the past 5 years is epic. I mean, Milwaukee came out with a tool now. The battery's a quarter the size and outlasts any of the big ones. I mean, I agree. I think they're stepping back until they get their, you know, technologies a bit more in their hand. So,
Eddie Morton, if you want to put something electric between your legs, buy a vibrator. Darren Minnick, hello all from Indiana. Welcome. Yeah. So
what he said.
Social media is rocking along. Anthony Robinson is in the house. This is a perfect time for us to do a little bit of product testing, right?
Oh boy.
We can actually call this one a test ride.
Test ride.
Okay, so anybody that knows me knows that I do not play around about my coffee. And if you look inside that mug right there right now, we have a test ride going on right here in the studio. All of us, everybody get your mugs up.
I got mine.
Here we go.
This mug my coffee mug.
So,
you said mug.
Friend of the program and of the magazine, Anthony Robinson, started a company called Gasoline and Coffee. And this is which brand of this, Heather?
89 octane.
89 octane. So
one's really good. I think I like it.
we got 89 octane, 91 octane, and a bag called Ethel, which personally I can't wait. Let's give this thing a shot.
It's good. I like it. I'll be up all night. Thanks, Anthony.
Ellie Rains is on watching, and she says she loves. Oh my God, this coffee is awesome! I can't wait.
We're going to do
Mark's
a
not
show for
usually
the
allowed to
next
have
one.
coffee after noontime.
Great. So
No, it's
tomorrow
actually really
morning,
good.
when I'm sound asleep, because I was up all night long, Anthony, I'm calling you to see if you can come help me at work.
He will. He's
Coffee's
a
good,
worker.
though.
Yes, sir.
Oh, it's really good. And
I need
actually,
help, so.
Anthony very kindly sent us. Let's see, he's got the 89. There's the Ethel. How do you say it?
Ethel. I hollered, "Don't look, Ethel," but it was too late. She already got a free throw.
And 91. So anyway, he very kindly sent us those coffees to test drive.
Well, we're driving that bitch.
He sent
I'll
us a
tell
couple hats and some cool swag, and the stickers are already up in the shop. And so if you want to order some, you can get your own because I'm not going to share with you. Go to gasolineandcoffee.com and
Wait
get
a minute.
you some.
Look here. Look how prepared I am today.
Look
I want
here.
extra credit for this. Poof, just like that. Gasolineandcoffee.com.
So that bike up there, Sangria,
Yeah, buddy.
we've had that in our magazine before. I think we've had several of Anthony's bikes grace our pages. And not only does he obviously make good coffee, which I can now attest to, but he built some beautiful motorcycles.
Man, he's got some cool gear. I dig this shirt. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So again, go support your local small shop, get some coffee, get a shirt, buy one of his bikes.
Tell him
Hey,
we
why
sent
not?
you.
Tell him we sent you.
Remember, this is Motel 666. We'll leave a goat bone
Hey,
for
wait,
you.
he's got gasoline and coffee original vans.
Yes,
How do we get
I
our
know.
own vans?
I want Grease and Gears garage vans.
I like Vans.
Ooh.
I like vans. All right, Lance
Children.
Baxter. Hi, guys. A free shot. Someone got it. Terry Lee Henderson. Right
Nice.
on.
I don't get it.
It was a song.
Oh.
The Streak. All right.
Darren Minnick, buy my bikes. Darren, what do you got?
So tonight, in order and on top of our usual banter, we have the privilege of having Ellie Rains on. It's going to be some good conversation. Heather's pretty excited about this.
I am.
Because she's actually going to get up and ditch her seat.
Oh, that's
Ditch
right.
her.
I get to give up my seat for our guest producer here.
Did your seat?
Ditch her seat.
Ditch her seat.
Ditch her seat.
So we're going to let
Is that one word?
Missy Shoemaker, she is one of our contributors and photographers, and she actually produced the is that what she did today?
She engineered.
Engineered the first Grease and Gears Garage live show today that we did. And I know she's a personal friend of Ellie and has some great questions for her. So we're going to let her take over my seat.
But
And
before
she can
that-
be Heather Callan for a little bit.
Before that, and while they're changing
Oh,
over,
boy.
I'm going to remind you guys one more time that we are coming to you through the courtesy of the Russ Brown Motorcycle Attorneys Studio with Shop Talk this Sunday and every Sunday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And real quick here, we're going to take 2 and 2, do some information for the show, and we'll be right back with you. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with Shop Talk. All right, hey man. So if you work in a shop like I do on donor motorcycles that people don't always keep very nice, or if you work on diesel trucks like I have to sometimes to keep shit on the road, this is going to be something to really interest you. Daniel Donnelly turned me on to this company. The company's name is Full Bore. They make an entire line of hand scrubs. Now, I know you guys are all hip to like the green stuff, the red stuff, the orange stuff. Something that's really cool about this is this stuff doesn't have a ridiculous odor when it's done. I've already used it a few times, so I'm hip to it. They gave me this nice pump bottle. They also gave me a little crank deal for once I get the other ones set up. But starting off with this, like you can tell, I've had a hell of a day in the shop, and they say just about a dime size worth of the material is all you need to do to clean your hands up. So there's nothing worse than having to come in from the shop and do something on a computer or touch anything and have black fingerprints everywhere. Heather loves when I do that shit. And with the Full Bore product, so far that I've seen, there's a nice grid here. And just that dime size, man, just like they said, and I'm out the door. So check them out, fullboardproducts.com. We'll be looking at the other stuff here, the Extreme Green, and I'll let you know how that goes. For more information, look at Cycle Source Magazine or on our website, cyclesource.com. Okay, totally blew that transition. No, listen, I was reading and I have to bring up a question here real quick. So let me put the me and Mark screen up. Where is the me and Mark screen?
Oh boy, you lost us.
Oh nope, this is the me and Missy screen. Oh, this is good enough.
Hey.
So Nick Hildebertle has a question here. Question for you all: if you're going to buy a motorcycle lift for your own garage, do you make the investment to buy a handy, or would you buy a lesser one? If yes, on a cheaper one, which one? Here's the deal for me. If I'm going to buy a tool like a motorcycle lift or, any substantial tool like that, I'm going to buy the good one. Yeah. And I can tell you, like, there's another company out there. It's like HME or something.
There's only one company.
But it's comparable.
I hate to be a hater, but
it's comparable to Handy. It really is. Like those lifts aren't too bad compared to Handy. But when you compare either one of those to the red cheap one that you pump up with your foot, I'm not going to say the name of the company. Yeah. If that was all that you could get, if that was literally like all you could get, or a buddy was going to give you one, that's okay. Yeah. After you use that the third time, I promise you this, because I've had to work on those at buddy shops. After the third time that you're pumping that thing up with your foot, or you try to do anything serious on it, it's a pain in the ass. Yeah. So I would I would save up the money and I would get a good lift, because you're going to buy, if you have a home shop and you're not doing this for a living, you're going to buy that one time in your whole life. Yeah. Like seriously, that's going to be it. I still have my first Handy lift I ever bought like 20 years ago.
And that goes for almost any tool. Anytime you buy a tool, and we kid around because we spend a lot of time in the shop, and I have a lot of old tools. I mean, I have ratchets that I've had for 30 years. And I'm a firm believer, if you're going to buy a tool, you go for the best you can possibly get. Spend the money. You're going to have it. And this is if you do this for a living. I mean,
yep.
And to me, if it's not the best, if it's not going to work when you need it to work, don't waste your money on it. I mean, Handy, there's a lot of lifts out there. They do work. Some are very nice. Handy's still the best lift out there, hands down.
Yep. All right, so we're going to get to our first guest of the hour. And for her introduction, I'm actually going to go over to Missy, sitting in Heather's seat.
Hey, so Ellie is the founder of the Women's Riders USA group. It's a Facebook group that you can find, and there's also one for just the Midwest. And Ellie's been doing some great things with that group. The USA group has almost 20,000 followers or members on Facebook. And it's a great place for women riders who are interested in learning to ride, or who are beginners, or even those of us who've been riding for a while, to go ask questions. You can talk to other women riders. It's a pretty good deal.
All right, well, let's see if we can get her on the phone.
Hello.
Ellie, how you doing? You're live on ShopTalk.
Hi, everybody.
How's it going?
Hi, Ellie.
Good. Thanks a lot for having me on your show.
No, absolutely. We're super excited to have you here.
Hey, Ellie, how's it going?
Real good.
Why
How
don't
are
you?
Missy?
I'm doing really good, thanks. I'm hanging out in Pittsburgh here for a while. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your Women Riders USA to start with?
Okay. All right. How it started was about in 2008. It started out with just a small handful of ladies out where I live. We're about 50 miles west of Chicago. And from there, it kept growing and growing and growing to what it is now. Women Writers USA is what I call kind of like our mothership or our large group, and then from there's regional groups that kind of spiral out from that, with one of them being my original group that I formed was Midwest Women Writers. And because of that's where I live, a lot of the events and things that I do are in this area.
Okay, now speaking of your events, what's the big event you got coming up here in May?
That's called Get Your Groove On. And the reason why it's called that is because it's going to be in Woodstock, Illinois. I had to throw in the Illinois because people are getting confused. But it's we've rented the fairgrounds out here, and we're going to have one of our largest events ever. Last year we had close to 400 women that attended our event and it runs over the weekend of International Female Ride Day. So we incorporate that in with my event. With the day before, the girls come in, we do guided rides, we have self-guided rides, we'll have entertainment, a lot of vendors, food trucks, all that kind of thing, a lot of other really cool things that are going to be happening. And then on Saturday morning, what we do is our large ride. And last year we had the Illinois State Police lead our ride for us, which was pretty dang awesome. And it's my understanding that they are asking about this year's event. So I'm hoping that they can come back and do that very same thing again, especially with over 600 attendees, that we're going to need their help. So
doesn't it blow your mind now to have the police come into your event? Like if you've been riding for a considerable amount of time, when the police used to come, it wasn't always so cool. We were
it
like,
wasn't a good thing.
So Ellie, this is Chris. Tell me a little history about you. Like when did you start riding?
Well, I started out on mini bike, and then my husband, back in the day, had a dirt bike, and that's when I really, really got hooked. I think I probably rode that thing. That he lived out in the country, sort of, and there was a large lot, and I spent a lot of time riding in the grass, not so much on the street. And then from there, I bought a 650 Honda. And that was back in the 70s. Don't ask me what year it is because I can't remember. But that I owned for a little while. And then after that, kids came, and the motorcycle kind of took a back seat for a while. And then I became a very serious rider when I got my very first Harley, which was a 2007 Deluxe. And that is what really, really started the bug with me. My passion, I guess you could say.
But you do have that experience of riding as a woman from back in the 70s.
Yes.
Yeah, that was quite a different thing. And one of the things I talk about all the time, for whatever my position is in the community or on this show, when we talk about the difference and the advantages for women who want to ride today, who want to be part of this, the advantages are vast, man. I mean, to come from a time like in the 70s, 80s when I started riding, and the treatment that was expressed to a female rider then compared to now, quite a different world entirely. And I mean, it's a large part of that goes down to the efforts of groups like yours.
I lost your audio.
You did?
Okay, you're there now.
Okay. So
Sorry.
I was just saying that a large part of the change in attitude towards female riders has to do with groups like yours.
I agree, and there's a lot of communities out there, and I've kind of changed the name from group to a community is what I really feel like we are. My community is specifically for women who currently are riding their own, but over the years since I've had this community, I've felt that there was a change that needed to be made. And so now we welcome women into the group that have a really strong desire to learn how to ride, but they don't know how to go about it. Mm-hmm. So they come into this community and they're able to ask questions without feeling intimidated or whatever. And we can give them the tools that they need, and the support is huge for a lot of these women because they don't really get the support to follow their dream. And so that's a little bit, it's a little bit of a spin on something else that we do in this community is we help those women that want to throw a leg over and ride their own motorcycle.
Yeah, I've noticed in the group too, there's like a lot of women that don't have a man in their life that ride. So
Right.
getting, with other like-minded women or whatever to learn is really, a good thing because, otherwise they don't have anyone else there, to teach them.
Absolutely. I agree. And it's really rewarding to see these women come into the group and, they don't ask a whole lot of questions at first. And then finally they realize that they can ask a question. And pretty soon, they ask, well, how do they go about it? And a whole thread of advice comes down from a lot of the women in the group. And then after that, they report back that they've signed up for the class, they take the class, they pass the class, they get their certification. And then the next step is, they've either have a question about motorcycles, like different types and what they should be looking for. And then they have their first motorcycle. So it's really neat to see full circle these women come in and then have, actually go out, purchase their own motorcycle, and then take that first, ride around the block or whatever it may be, and then progress from there even.
It's really cool to be one of the women who has been riding for a while, to be able to answer some of the questions. I do a lot of solo riding myself, and a lot of people, bring up those questions, like, what do you do on a solo ride? How do you, a lot of women, their husbands are like, no, I don't want you to leave and go ride by yourself. And, it's like kind of cool for me because I can answer some of those questions.
Right.
Chris challenged me today a little bit on some of these women's groups. And he really kind of did bring up a good question that I'm going to ask, and not to be like downplaying or anything like that. But what do you feel is a strong point to have an all women's event?
First of all, I'd have to say it's the camaraderie, the sisterhood. Every time I've done an event, it's always been specifically for women. And I think women are drawn, they feel like they can be themselves without, how can I say this without, I don't want to, come across as bashing anybody, but they just feel like they can be themselves. They're there to connect with other women. A lot of these women network. A lot of the ladies in my community are from clubs and organizations. It's a sisterhood comes to mind, and the strength that we get from one another. Myself, when I've gone to a women's event other than my own, it's a very empowering feeling to be amongst your peers that ride like you do. And oftentimes when I leave an event, I'm kind of sad that I have to leave because you meet so many ladies across the country when you go to these
It's
events.
kind of like a modern day knitting circle.
Yes. And
If I would have said that, I would have got yelled at. I was going to ask when
You would have actually got punched in the face by two women.
seriously
No,
holding this back.
like back in the day, the women's groups, they would have like their church groups or whatever, and they would do the same thing. We're just doing it with motorcycles, right?
right.
Okay,
exactly.
so I can see that a little bit. When we were talking about this earlier, one of the things that I said, and not to be negative, I mean, I'm a journalist. This is what I'm supposed to do is ask questions. And one of the things I was saying is what makes the needs of an unexperienced female rider any different from anyone else? Right. And what do you get from it specifically from joining a group that caters to your gender? And not in a bad way. Like I said, we're just
No, I get it. I think that when women get together, they're able to talk about maybe a little bit more. They can ask questions more in a without the guys being around, I like riding. Some of my best guy friends I ride with all my husband and all his guy friends, I ride with them all the time. So it's not that I'm anti, male riders. There's something about getting together with women and cruising down a road with a group of 20 or 25 and it's nothing but women.
It's it is kind of empowering.
It is, because last year when we did the ride, we came through the town that I live in, and there was 400 of us, and people were talking about us for days because of the fact, number one, there was 400 of us, and we were led by the Illinois State Police, which was, you don't see that a whole lot out here, and we were all women. And they just thought that was the coolest thing to see all these women on motorcycles. It's still, I live, out by Chicago here, and it's still kind of, I hate to say it, oddity, but it is when you see a large group of women like that all riding together. It's so empowering for me.
Well, Debbie Ratkowski, coming in from Facebook, actually had a good.
That's my girl.
Good definition. We support and encourage each other in a way that is comfortable and friendly and just amazing. I like this one the best, though. Terry Lee Henderson. We're no knitting group, more of a hot Tupperware party.
I love it.
Okay, so listen. Now I really want to come to this thing, right?
All right. Hey, I asked Missy. I said, "Hey, Chris and Heather, can they come to this?" So you guys pencil that in on your calendar.
Right on.
You won't be sorry. It's going to have a Woodstock vibe.
Well, is this a women only event?
Yeah.
Yes, it is. But Chris is going to have to wear a dress, and I don't know, bring his knitting with or Tupperware. I don't know.
If you talk to Heather, for a while we had a policy in the office. There was an actual estrogen test device on the stairs going into the office, and that was mainly put there for me because some days I'm a little high maintenance and.
Some days.
Well, your hair does look pretty.
Hey.
There you go. You're already ahead of the game, Chris.
This is no good can come of this. Like, there's only one direction for this show to go. All right. So tell us some of the other stuff that your community does for women, new riders and existing riders.
Well, it's the camaraderie. The girls love to get together for different events that we have, and we're going to be at the IMS show at Gina Wood's booth. We were there last year, and so we're going to be doing that. That's coming up.
One of the things I was hoping to get off you, I understand from Missy that on your website there's a specific feed just for women business owners and people who are selling stuff. You actually have like an organizational aspect to that part of it.
Yeah, we try to keep a lot of that stuff off of the main feed because we're not a community we don't sell. I mean, there's a ton of other crap like that out there if people want to buy or sell stuff. But I do allow the girls to, and there's a file section, as we have many file sections for education, selling, whatnot, or your what you do for your business or whatever. It allows them a place to put their business information. I think that's important just to support one another. If a lot of these girls have their own businesses or, and they want to put a plug in, so we allow them to do that there.
And I thought that was great too, how you kept it it's there. So like if you want to go look for it, but if you don't want to go look for it, it's not in your face all the time, like it is on some groups.
Yeah, I try to monitor that feed as well as I can. I have to say that, Chopper Town Cycle Source Magazine, all of you guys and everybody else out there that is in the motorcycle community have given my community a lot of really great compliments. And I like that we try to uphold it to a certain level so that it's not trashy, or we try to just maintain motorcycle type topics in there.
And
we
it's
try
not catty
to stray away
either.
from that. No, I try to nip that in the bud as soon as I can.
Really,
sometimes it happens.
Well, we can all be bitches.
Okay, wait a minute. I gotta go back to Facebook for a minute because Sharon how do I say that?
Dornbos?
Dornbos. I ride with
Yes.
guys too, but there is a difference when you're riding with all women. You can be goofy and just have a lot of fun. We stayed at a hotel,
Right.
and most of us came to breakfast in our PJs. I like a big pajama party. We do a lot of laughing. Now wait a
Yeah.
minute. I've been out on a motorcycle run with Mark, and he came to breakfast in nothing at all, and we laughed too.
Playing no games. I like my eggs when I'm thrown down, you know?
Oh gosh.
No,
That's
but
funny.
I get it, man. I get it. I mean, that's like the difference between going on an organized run with people that you just met at the sign up gate compared to going with like 12 of your closest friends, you know, like you know each other.
And
Right.
I get that fine line too. It's almost like it has to be defined out now, and that's sort of where, like I said, I'm not bashing it anyway. I think it's awesome. More people on two wheels, more people riding. That's fantastic.
Yep.
But all of a sudden, it's almost like it's written down and defined, separated. Like when I started riding, nobody in my family rode. My dad wasn't into motorcycles. I had no aunts and uncles. I had a cousin, distant cousin. But man, I got my first bike. I was alone. I mean, I figured out my first bike. I had a few friends. Like it's, there's people that do it on their own. There's people that do it. It's great that there's a community that like this that they can jump into and be a part of. I mean, I think it's fantastic, but it seems like it's so defined all of a sudden. I'm a little lost on it.
And I think that, that's the thing that we were saying at the beginning of the show, how different this is
Yeah.
for women now compared to when it
Back
was in the
day.
70s.
Yeah.
And as a group too, like there's a group for everybody, you know, but it would be awesome if we can take all of these different directions and really like put
Angle
that
them.
all together, man. So like there was some real unity eventually at the end of
That's
all
it.
of this.
That seems like this is the separation. There's a separation between these. And to me, it should all be the same. There should be no separation. We should all be in the same direction at all times. You're more powerful in numbers. I mean, that's all there is to it.
I think one thing though, if you're a woman that's just getting, learning to ride or whatever, if you can ride with a group of other women that are just learning to ride, then you're going to feel more comfortable to go out
I get that.
and get in the
Maybe
other
less
groups.
pressure.
Yeah, less pressure. Because
Yeah.
the first time I rode cross country, I was the only female riding with a group of men all the way across to
and you
Sturgis.
can just leave it right there.
Right.
I know, I was. And but it was a little intimidating. Like, I had to make sure they weren't waiting on me, they weren't it was
But in any group, there's one of those.
I know.
I mean, you almost hate to sound like,
There
pinpoint
always is
person
one of
out, but
those.
Yeah, there is always that one person that sometimes you always we
Well,
kid around about the magazine. I mean, Cycle Source time. We did that with Chris for years, and it wasn't the point of having to wait on. It was the point that he had so much.
Hey,
going
and
on.
listen, when I started riding too, I was the youngest guy. Then I was the prospect. Then I was the youngest member. You know what I mean? And like you got the shit jobs, you got the ride in the back, you got to sit with the bikes. The thing that's different today is everything.
Right.
Like the generations that are coming up now, they don't wait to earn their way into
No.
stuff like we used to, so it's got to be a different approach. And like things like this are absolutely on track with that. Like making people feel comfortable, making them feel safe, giving them a place. That's part of it, man.
And it's great that you give these people the opportunity. I mean, I think it's fantastic that there's a lot of these women out that are getting the chance, and you are bringing this so to the surface. It's so fantastic that you not only have the ability to ride and do the things that you do, but you're offering such a forum for women that want to learn how to ride to jump in there comfortably. You know what I mean? Does that sound right?
Well, and I think it's important too because it's necessary to get new people on motorcycles. We need that. It's one of your shows a while back. You guys were talking about the need to get these younger people on a motorcycle because they're just not, into riding motorcycles. I mean, they spend all their time in front of video games or whatever. And I totally agree with that. And this is another way for us to be seen and to, get what we're doing out there. And when people see, a whole gob of women rolling down the road, it sparks an interest. They're curious. They want it. They're like, oh, that kind of looks neat. I want to be like her. So then you investigate on your own what you need to do, but we're there to help also, getting that word out there.
Hey, let's go back for 1 second to the younger people, though. I agree totally with you, and the
Yep.
social media comments are crazy. Like, everybody's talking about how great having groups and communities like yours, that are actually doing this outreach is imperative when it comes to the mission of getting more women riding. As far as younger people, the motorcycle industry and community at large is trying everything. The one thing that they're not doing is what got me into this. So I suggest today, go home, go to your house, your kid, go into his bedroom, her bedroom, and forbid them from riding a motorcycle. Right now. Do it right now. Tell them, you stay off that goddamn motorcycle. It's dangerous. I don't want you to have one. Make them keep it in the shed at their buddy's house, like we all did.
That's right. Well, Chad Alvarez had sent a post and it said, "Who wants to ride alone all the time?" To tell you the truth, Chad, that was some of my favorite riding.
Mine too.
Riding alone, hands down. I cannot stand, and I'll be the first one to get out there, I cannot stand riding in a group. Riding in a group, if you're not super comfortable with the people around you and you ride with them all the time, some people are sketchy. You don't want to ride with them. I'm either in the very front or in the very back. There's no happy medium. So
he's a beard purist, though.
Yeah.
It's all about the beard with Mark. If you ain't long, then you're wrong.
That's it. Hey, we almost have Cochran talked into building a long bike, so that's not bad. So, but I mean, I disagree with the riding alone. A lot of times, I'd rather ride by myself. I'm more comfortable riding by myself. So,
Me too. I like to head out by myself
Right.
a lot.
Yep.
Definitely one of my more favorite things. I mean, not saying anything wrong with riding a group. It's cool. We've done a lot of the Cycle Source rides and stuff that we do. And a lot of times when we're at events, like we'll get in a situation where, Heather and Chris and me and Dana will jump on bikes and we'll go, and that's a comfortable group. And we'll have a few other people there also. But to have, to ride in a group all the time, I'd stay home first.
God, look, people agreeing with you. I don't know how many $10 checks you're going to write out this week. Oh my God! How do we get so far off track? Let's get back to Ellie, because she's the guest of honor here. Ellie, tell us a little more how people can keep up with you, see what you're doing, get more information about your events and your community.
Okay, so this thing that I've created is starting to get kind of huge. It has been. So I need to have a website, which I do not have, but I'm investigating that right now. But if you want to find out about what we're doing, we're primarily on Facebook. We are on Instagram as well. But you can go to the, where's the link here? You can go to either one of my public pages, which is Women Writers USA International. That's one of my public pages. Or you can go to Midwest Women Writers MWR. That is the public page where a lot of information is on about the events that I do, because it's in the Midwest here. And then after that, there's listings in there how a woman can get into the public group. So if they want to be part of, the private group, the Women Writers Motorcycle Group USA, which is a private, or if they can even PM me too on Facebook or Instagram. Either way.
Okay, great, Ellie. And the event, again, it coincides with International Female Ride Day.
Yes.
Heather, Missy laughs too much when she's on the show. She does.
I wondered what you guys were doing back there.
Listen, it's Missy.
It's all me.
She's only been on the show one time before on air. Like, a lot of times she's behind the scenes. So we're doing everything we can to get her to piss herself on camera, just for the fun of it. This is how.
Looking at Missy here. You guys need to interview her sometime, because I was at the Tennessee Motorcycle Music Revival with her, and she was telling me how she camps. Very, very valuable information there of how she sets up her camp to stay warm.
Next year, I'm asking for a cabin.
Well, Missy's pretty awesome. Missy's a traveler for sure. All right. Well, cool. Listen, Ellie, thank you so much for taking some time with us tonight and and giving people more information on your community. And I suggest if you're a woman, you're into motorcycle riding, you know someone that's coming up and could benefit from this information, please get them in touch with Ellie and her community now, or you can get in touch with Missy.
Definitely.
PM
Yes.
us
Yep.
at the magazine and we'll pass it along.
PMS. You just said PMS. That's the magazine. That's what you said. That's horrible.
That's better. Listen, in pre-show, I said it too fast and I said pee on us. So
That's a whole different show.
I don't want to go there. That's way more expensive. All right. Listen, Ellie, again, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you,
Thank
Ellie.
you for the
you.
opportunity.
We'll see
Thank
you on
you
the
so
road.
much.
Yes,
All
ma'am.
right, sounds good.
All right, Chopper Jockeys, we're coming to the top of the hour, and I want to remind you guys one more time, this is Shop Talk coming to you live every Sunday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time through the courtesy of the Russ Brown Motorcycle Attorney Studio with 90 to 120 minutes of all the bullshit we can fit, some news, some information on motorcycles, the culture and community surrounding it, and we're going to be back in 2 minutes. Do some business real quick for the show. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with Shop Talk.
Hey, what's up guys? Dylan here with Dennis Kirk. On today's episode, we're gonna be taking a look at the 2020 Climb Storm Jacket from, you recording? Is the light on? Yeah. Well then, yeah.
I was just wondering if you've told them yet.
Who?
Them. Can I tell them about Dennis Kirk?
I don't know, I guess so. Dennis Kirk has all of your winter and summer power sport needs, and we have same day shipping, fast shipping, so you guys get your parts fast, like next day fast. How am I doing so far? Good? Visit www.denniskirk.com for more information. Okay, you done? Yep.
Say, did you?
Go.
Hey, look, Blondie's back.
Hiya. So Terry Lee Henderson, PMS, actually stands for Parked Motorcycle Syndrome.
We have got to get Terry Lee Henderson on this show.
She's awesome. Back at the beginning, there were so many comments coming in that I missed this one. Mike Draco was asking, he watched the show this afternoon, Greasing Gears Garage Live.
Yes.
And he was asking how much motors weigh. Sportster motors, panheads, shovelheads. And I actually did some homework while I was off to the side.
Wow, look at you, because I can still lift a Sportster motor and tranny up by myself.
40 pounds then.
You bastard.
They range anywhere from 185 to 210 pounds.
For a Sportster motor?
The Sportster motor is around
lifted-
210. Actually,
Okay.
it's the heavier of the motors.
Yeah.
A shovelhead came in at 185
Well,
pounds.
it's the transmission's
Panhead,
attached to the
180.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I
Right
would have
on.
been right on. I was going to say, I saw that question. I was actually going to say on an average probably around 200 pounds.
Hey, I saw earlier, too, someone was asking, let's get some music on.
ooh. Let's see
All
who
right,
else.
I'll
While you
sing.
look while you get what you're looking for, I'm going to say hi to a couple people. eBay Jake is on. Jason Sims from the Cannonball and Chase is on. Joe Ong just showed up. Let's scooch on over to Choppertown. Rob Nussbaum. Rob's oh Jesus.
Go ahead.
Brain cramp. Total brain cramp. Eric Christensen
Anthony,
from
keep the
Spectra
coffee
Oil
coming.
is here. Man, I love this. I love seeing people from all over the place tune in.
Okay, so I saw a question earlier. Somebody was asking, do we still provide this as a podcast? Yes, we do. After the fact, you can go to our website, motoshoptalk.com. You can also pick it up through any podcast provider. That's Spotify, Apple, iTunes Store, Google Play, all of that. You can pick this up after the fact as a podcast. During the show, we go live through 7 different social media channels: YouTube Live, a bunch of different Facebook Lives, Twitter Live. It's all over the place. And we do it, like I said, every Sunday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Sorry, and I need to apologize. It's Retro Cycle out of New Jersey. And I got a little tripped up today because I saw an ad. There's a thing going around the AMCA sites that it was not Rob's ad, but they were using Rob's name. So shame on whoever's doing that.
Shame on them.
Shame on them.
All right, so we had a couple pieces of news left. Let's get back into the news for a minute and talk about Mecum. Mecum's right around the corner. Mecum,
Yes,
Las Vegas 29th Annual Vintage and Antique Motorcycle Auction presented by State Farm. Some heavy hitters this year. Dude, how much would you love to have that motorcycle that like led the whole Harley-Davidson superbike revolution, right?
Yes, sir. I'm going to kill myself on it, but I'd love to have it.
So at Mecum this year, the Las Vegas edition, they have 1,750 motorcycles up on the block, 2 of which are 2 of the most iconic Indian Larry motorcycles.
Right there, baby.
Which is effing awesome.
Indian Larry Grease Monkey and Indian Larry's Chain of Mystery.
To see those things back out in public is, for Bobby, it's got to be super, super hard to let those things go.
It really does,
Give him
right?
all the credit in the world. Love you to death, buddy. Hopefully you knock them 2 right out of the freaking park. Would be fantastic.
So you can go to Mecum.com to get more information about that. If you want to head out to those auctions, you might actually see Missy there, but that's a whole nother story. I was throwing you in on that one.
How about the original Bullet car is going to be going up on one of those here real soon?
Yeah, that's so. Here, I'll bring that up real quick for a second
Oh, you
because
just
a lot of
pulled it up,
people, a lot of people are cross addicted to all this stuff.
Yeah.
At the collector car auction Kissimmee, January 2nd through the 12th, the original 1968 Ford Mustang GT Bullet going up on the auction.
Yeah, buddy. They're figuring
Wow,
out
dude, look at this.
well into
the main
six
attraction,
figures.
the 1968 Challenger 2, the Mickey Thompson's Challenger 2 Streamliner is going to be on the auction block there. That is sick as hell.
We should go there and buy them things.
All right, so getting back to the news, because we still have a few stories, and I pride myself on actually making it through all these. Well, mostly. This up in the news is one of our last items and causing quite a bit of conversation across the airways.
Yes, it
This
should.
in from Ultimate Motorcycling. Indian recalls 5,474 motorcycles due to potential engine stalling. Apparently, Indian Motorcycles recalled 5,474 of its 2019 FTR 1200 Chieftain, Vintage, Roadmaster, Dark Horse, and Springfield motorcycles due to a potential stalling issue. Indian says a 10-amp circuit breaker may be defective, tripping unexpectedly and causing a sudden loss of power and an engine stall. Tell you what I found curious here. And I said I wasn't going to say this on the road, but
Oh, you have to.
damn it, I love a good story. So the following bikes are affected: 2019 Chief Dark Horse, 2019 Chieftain, 2019 Chieftain Dark Horse, 2019 FTR 1200, 2019 Roadmaster, 2019 Springfield, 2019 Springfield Dark Horse, 2019 Vintage. What are we missing
What's
here?
left?
The Scout.
The Scout 60. Let's go back up here. I'm going to bring your attention to 5,700 or 474 motorcycles. And it's all of those bikes.
Yep.
So what does that tell you about how many Indians are really out in the world? For everybody that's sitting there going, Indians taking over the motorcycle world.
Yeah, no.
Not with 6,000 bikes, they're not.
No.
But
Especially
hey,
6,000 bikes that have to go back to the factory.
I could be totally wrong. I could be reading that wrong. To me, it looks like all of these models
I'd like-
right here add up to 6,000
Yeah,
motorcycles.
I'd like to know how many they actually sold. I'd like to know
Right.
what the...
A lot of people would. Unfortunately,
Yeah, they're
that
not gonna get
is
that
in
information.
Hoffa's left front pocket. And that's where you have to go to get it.
Oh, well, I am going to an arena in the New York area here real soon. So
Oh,
I'll grab
my
it.
goodness.
I'll grab it while I'm there.
Hey, he's Italian. He knows
Hey,
things.
I know a guy.
I said what I said.
You heard me. Playing no games up in this bitch.
Last piece in the news: why kids aren't riding the dark side. Could our highly effective safety messages be responsible for motorcycling's decline?
Well, I can tell you.
So
It's not because of smoking.
I'm going to tell you, a lot of stuff is said here. There's a lot of words. This is from Adventure Rider, Ride the
It's actually
World.
a really good article.
Go ahead, Melanie. Fill us in.
no,
Fill us in. Look, the camera's on you. Boom.
Oh, don't do that to me.
Well, too late.
Look, Rob Nussbaum, forget about it. He's from New York, too.
I'm going to throw the link to the article in the comment section so you can read all the words. But Chris, you are so good at paraphrasing.
Oh boy.
Please go for
Okay,
it.
so here's the thing. They say, in short,
Do
throughout
not
this
smoke.
article, that we've made motorcycling lame in our effort, and I totally agree with this.
Yeah.
In our effort to clean up our image and make it palatable and make it socially acceptable, we've made it a drag. And kids are like, well, why am I going to do that? I'm going to be stupid and old like Grandpa. I'm not riding a motorcycle. I agree. Again, go to the room tonight, forbid them from riding a motorcycle, get on
Put
yours.
your damn foot down.
Go get a DUI, come home in the back of a cop car, show them that motorcycles
right.
are still cool.
Have them drag you out of your garage. This country needs another badass. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and that's pretty much what the whole article says, is you need to make motorcycling rebellious and...
That's what it was,
Yeah.
baby.
Yeah.
Remember the commercial where the guy pulled up next to the car on a bike and the people in the car locked
Rolled
the
their
door?
windows, roll the windows up, lock the door, yeah.
Then it went to the guy pulled up next to the people in the car and the lady flashed the guy.
Yeah.
There's none of that going
No,
on.
no,
They're
there
not
isn't.
locking cars. They're not flashing guys. No. They want to talk to you.
Yeah, right now they want to know what legal firm you work for.
All right, so that was the news, everybody. Thank you for sticking around for all of that.
Thank God we made
Horse
it through
shit.
that.
Let's do some events now. A lot of great stuff coming up that I want to get through and make sure you guys are aware of. March 28th and 29th, 2020, the Donnie Smith 33rd
2020.
Annual Midwest Extravaganza Bike Show Swap Meet at the River Center, St. Paul, Minnesota.
It's an extravaganza.
Definitely don't want to miss that one of our favorite shows.
That is one of my favorite shows.
This is going to be off the hook.
Yeah.
2020 Ice Race Grand Championship, high voltage motorcycle ice races,
That's next weekend.
Sunday, January 12th, Wilson Park Lagoon, Milwaukee. I've said this, I'll say it again over and over and over again. This is the coolest venue you ever go see motorcycle ice races at.
These dudes are nuts, too. I mean,
Yep.
you think they're racing on ice, and it's going to be hard for them to race on ice. Man, they got some hookup tires.
Right.
These guys rip it up. It's so worth going to watch. I would, if you have the opportunity to go to this, I definitely would not miss it. Definitely worth every second of you being there. And,
I would
and
go, but it's
apparently-
too cold.
Yeah, the venue is just off the charts. I mean, there's not a bad place to watch it from there. So, yeah, definitely something you want to go see.
That's awesome. Can I go to a question on Facebook real quick?
Go ahead.
Terry
Here,
Wyatt.
actually, I'll just let you run the rest of the show.
Hey, I'm out of here.
You got 15 minutes. Go.
Don't be like that. He thinks he's funny. He's not.
Well,
Terry Wyatt wants to know if we will be out in Daytona because they would like to meet us in person.
Yes, we will.
We will be in Daytona, but I'd like to know if we did this show live, would anybody be interested in come watching us do it live? You guys can be in our audience. Maybe we can actually get you on camera a little bit. Any interest? Let us know.
I'll do it.
You don't have a choice.
Oh, I meant I was okay.
Okay, hey, I want to go to this one and bring your attention to the St. Louis Showcase, Cycle Showcase STL on Facebook. Go look it up now. February 1st and 2nd. It's official at the pageant on their marquee. They've locked this date in, and we're all on our way to St. Louis for this event. Randy's moved the event to a proper wintertime showcase. I cannot wait to get there and hang out with this cat and see what he puts together this year. This show is always off the hook. Go and check him out.
I can't wait
Facebook.
to see what ice cream he brings us.
I know. I like ice cream.
I like Randy and ice cream.
You like Randy in ice cream?
Whoa.
Hey now.
Ever since
easy.
TMMR, when he showed up and he had ice cream and I didn't have any, I was so upset. He promised me and Dana would have ice cream.
So go check them out. Like I said, that's Cycle Showcase STL on Facebook.
And
Make
what
sure
a great show this
Oh,
is, too. I
absolutely.
mean, like, everything about this. I mean, Randy, he's such a great guy. Everybody just loves him, and he puts all shit out here. No game.
Yep.
He's a great guy, puts on an amazing show. Super, super cool time.
In short order, it'll be April before we know it. Trust me. April 3rd through the 5th, 2020, the Texas Fandango. This the second one, and we will be, Heather and I,
We will be there.
we'll be there on hand, in person. We're actually going to be set up inside the building doing the bike show, and we'll have some of our bikes there and stuff. So for sure, come out, hang out with us.
Are we going to ride motorcycles?
We are going to ride motorcycles, baby. In no particular order, but also coming up fast, March 12th,
The greatest chopper show on earth.
11 to 4, Tropical Tattoo Chopper Time. Old school chopper show, the best reason to be in Daytona. Absolutely, 100%.
And I'll still say, not to cut anybody else's show out, if you've never been to Tropical Tattoo for Chopper Time, or
You're
for the
missing
Chopper show,
it.
you don't even have a clue. What he does in that little tiny area is just off the charts. Willie and his crew take it to the freaking outer space with this. What a great show. And what amazing, but like they jam in, you judge these bikes and you can't walk between them. It's like off the charts.
I know. I almost think you have to judge them as they roll in.
Oh yeah, that's. I think a lot of people actually do that.
Oh, maybe
They'll get
we
there
should
once
do
around
that.
before they go
So
through.
John Bugkiller Baker is asking, will there be mini bike races? I'm assuming he's talking about Daytona. We're working on that right now. We'll have an answer for you this week coming up.
Yes, we have a big super secret meeting tomorrow.
Back
it's
to-
not really secret, but
Yeah, not now. It's not, since you just told 3 million people. Back to the events for a minute. The One Motorcycle Show, Portland, Oregon, February 7th, 8th, and 9th, coming up fast. And last but not least, the Chill. Our friends from the
Wichita,
Kansas area, March 20th to the 22nd, putting on the wintertime chill show. Should be pretty cool.
That's cool. That's our friends Larry and Karen Moore. She's got that beautiful bike we shot in Galveston.
Yes. Yeah, super badass. Actually ran her down on the street to get that bike.
I know. She rolled up. I'm like, hey.
Right on, man. So where are we at?
What else we got?
Wow, we're 10 minutes early.
Oh my gosh. Find something to talk about. Can I shoot you with my Nerf gun?
Mark,
What is it? My turn
it's
to
all
talk?
on you. Yep.
Well,
Go.
one
Tell
day
me. So one day you were a small boy. Tell me about when you ate the government cheese.
again. Oh, speaking of government cheese, I ended up with 2 blocks of Swiss cheese. It worked the other day. That fell off a truck.
No.
Yeah, I was pretty excited about it. I don't want to tell you where they went.
Oh, man.
I'll tell you later where they went. You will get a huge kick out of where this cheese went.
I better
Like
get a
big
huge
time.
chunk
So,
out of it.
No. You don't want to get a chunk out of this. But
Do you see what happens when they have extra time?
we have so extra time.
No.
So what else? Let's talk. No.
I'm actually back in the shop, which is awesome.
Yeah.
This is I say this over and over again, but my favorite part of wintertime in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania is the fact that you can go into the shop and just turn on the radio and get busy. We got a lot of stuff going on because there's pretty much every motorcycle that we have needs something. Little adjustments, this and that. I always say that, like, how these guys in California and Florida, I couldn't be a motorcycle rider in California and Florida. If I didn't have wintertime to fix up all the shit that I broke all summer, I would be the most dastardly rider out there. My shit would have baling wire and black tape, and it would just be a mess all the time because I would never stop and fix anything.
Well, have you fixed any of them yet?
I'm getting ready, man. Like, I've made a solid plan, dude. It's January and I have a plan, Mark.
Well, how about starting to work on some of them sons of bitches? If I haven't been working every damn day, I'd have worked on some.
So Mike Draco asked how we choose which events to promote. And really, Mike, we try to promote everything people submit to us. We're not picky. If somebody sends us a flyer, sends us information about their event, we will spread the word, unless it's like some really shady stuff.
If it's really shady, or if it only applies to like 6 people. Like, we got a flyer the other day to promote an event for unwed teenage lesbian Indians against nuclear war that rode motorcycles with pink helmets.
I'm going.
Mark's going, but we're
going.
not promoting that on the show. I guess we just did promote it, though, because I'm
Real
talking
nice.
about it.
Now there's going to be more than 4 of us there.
Oh. So, yeah, anyway. So, if you
What, you
have
didn't like that?
If you have an event that you'd like us to talk about on the show, please send me the flyer. You can send it to me on Messenger here. You can email
Or
it
if
to me
you
at
have
cyclesourcemain@comcast.net, and we will spread the word. Also, if you go to cyclesource.com, there is, on Contact Us link, there is Submit an Event button that will put it on our calendar.
Chad Alvarez is getting an invitation too. If we're going to be live somewhere near you, you have to come and be on this show with us because you look like a hell of a lot of fun. Hey, listen, man, I'm going to do a product spot real quick. Motion Pro, you see in the Grease and Gears garage, we got a lot of tools from Motion Pro because they make the good stuff.
They got the mods.
They just sent these out. I don't know if this is a brand new product for them, but I know we used them today in the garage. They are Motion Pro Tech gloves. So these are Motion Pro's version of mechanics gloves. And man, these things are awesome. And I can't thank them enough for sending them out to us because I'm a dirty, dirty boy when I work on stuff. Hence the hand wash stuff that I was showing earlier today. And having something that's nice, like these are nice fitting, have some good grip stuff on the palms and the fingers. Really awesome. Thanks to Motion Pro and Uncle Joe for sending us that stuff out.
So Rob Nussbaum is reminding us to let everybody know when this show airs every week. He's got a lot of friends tuning in for the first time. First of all, thank you, Rob, for sharing the show and spreading the word about it. But we air every Sunday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Actually, we're going to do Cycle Source time. It's 9 p.m.-ish.
Turns out.
Keep that in mind.
Jeff Burton, first time he's watched. He
Hey,
thinks we're
Jeff.
great. Thank you very much, Jeff.
So, yeah, let me remind everybody, in addition to coming to you live from the Russ Brown Motorcycle Attorney Studio every Sunday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, if you look down in the lower corner, you'll see sponsors logos. These are the people that keep us in the game, both with the magazine and with Shop Talk. Anything you can do to support these people, give them some love because they make sure that we're bringing information to you guys all the time, and we couldn't do it without any of them. So
Jason,
thank you.
that is an outstanding idea. You going to give them gloves away?
Yeah, you know what? I'll tell you what. How about
Oh.
the Jason?
I'll tell you what
Nobody
I'm gonna
gives
do.
nobody gives Jason anything but a hard time. Let's send Jason a pair.
Right on.
We'll send you these gloves.
Did you just
These
say
are
Jason needs a pair?
Yeah.
You
We'll
mean
send
a
these. We're going to send these out. Not a pair.
Oh,
He needs a pair
okay.
of gloves.
I'm just checking.
So Jason Sims just won these beautiful Motion Pro shop gloves. We're sending them to you now.
Ask and ye shall receive. That's pretty awesome. So Lisa Ballard just joined us. Lisa.
Lisa.
is the mind behind Chop Call. I've been talking with her. She is going to come on and talk to us in February. We're trying to
Good.
nail down a date. But I'm super excited to have her on. A couple upcoming guests. We have Chris Graves on the schedule. He is the mind behind Fast Eddie Co., that super cool specialty tool company we talked about. I've got him on the schedule.
Oh, cool.
And this is super exciting. On January 26th, we are going to be able to be the first people to hear about the announcement for who is being inducted into the 2020
Dude.
Hall of Fame.
How about that? We're actually going to break the Hall of Fame inductees right here on this show. Before anywhere else in the world knows about it, they're going to find out here on Shop Talk.
That's
So
pretty
badass.
awesome. I'm super excited.
And
So
it's like sort of, you think, just in the short period of time that we've been doing this,
I know.
that it's come to, well, just it seems
it's a
like,
short 2 years.
and it seems like just in like the past, small dig, in the past 6 months, this is exploded.
Absolutely.
And like has really become something that I never imagined.
Yeah,
you
right
know what I
on.
mean? And all. But now
We're
something
super
like
grateful,
that-
and we're grateful to all you guys
So,
for it.
do
Because
you know that this is episode 98? So that
We
means
got
two more shows to
Two more to
episode
100.
100. And Tim Kearns, I'm sorry, but I think you started smoking crack if you think we're giving Bone Daddy away.
Hey, Jesus.
It'll be given away with a price tag on the other side of it, but it's a thought that counts.
All right, man. Listen, one more time, I want to thank everybody, especially Anthony Robinson, for that wicked gasoline
Gasoline and
Really
coffee.
good coffee. Send me coffee. It's been great.
I got to say, yeah, thanks for the coffee. The coffee was really awesome. We can't wait to get the other coffee, and we're going to drink some more next week when we're on the show. Thanks to Ellie Rames for coming on with us, and thanks to Motion Pro for the great products, all our sponsors, and especially to you guys for letting us into your headspace for this time with Shop Talk. Thank you so much, and make sure you set us up for alerts for next week. We'll be catching you same motorcycle channel,
I like same chopper channels.
same chopper channel. Jesus Christ!
God.
I'm a creature of habit.
Go ahead, same chopper channel.
You did it wrong.
Same
Either
chop-
way, you did it wrong.
Same
you
chopper
say
channel.
same chopper time. I say same chopper channel. He just can't get it right. 100 shows and he still
I'm out.
can't get it right.
I'm done with this game.
See, this is what happens. Earlier today, I was talking about this because we were on doing Grease and Gears Garage together, and I almost had to throw her out of the shop. I said, you know why you're acting up like this? It's not just because you're from the Northeast.
It's because I was nervous.
No, it's because she's trying to turn us into the motorcycle version of Punch and Judy.
Oh, that would be fun.
If I had a bat,
I'll bring the bat. If I bring a bat.
speaking of that, we're going to be on this week with another episode of Grease and Gears Garage Live, where we will actually have the people from the Banks Motorcycle Lift in the shop with us,
boy.
using that product, the product that was named Shop Product of the Year this year in Cycle Source magazine. We're actually going to use it to pull a motorcycle motor out of a Sportster and show you guys how it works. So,
Did you know Tim Kearns is their cousin?
no.
Stop
I learned that
already.
tonight.
Well, that Tim Kearns gets
All right.
around.
So one more time, we're going to sign off. We're bringing this one into the station. I want to thank you for hanging out with us. Make sure you set us up for alerts. Look for us in Daytona. We'll be announcing our live show pretty soon here. And until next time, same chopper time
Same chopper channel.
Peace.
for another episode of Shop Talk.